He looked at her and she asked what he thought. And instead of something sweet, instead of something romantic, the comment landed sharp. Not because of one word, but because of what it revealed. Tone matters, energy matters, and sometimes the smallest moment tells you exactly how a relationship works. That's why people keep circling back to Travis Barker's past whenever his current marriage makes headlines. Because before the curated photos, before the wedding specials, before the luxury aesthetic, there was another love story that didn't end quietly. It exploded in public. And if you really want to understand whether someone has changed, you don't just look at who they are now, you look at the pattern. Long before Kourtney Kardashian, there was Shanna Moakler. Their relationship wasn't hidden behind PR statements and filtered Instagram captions. It was broadcast, it was packaged, it became content. When Meet the Barkers aired in the mid-2000s, viewers got front row seats to their marriage. The flirting, the tension, the fights, the jealousy, it was all there. At first it felt edgy and passionate. Rock star energy, big personalities, big love. But when your relationship becomes a show, something shifts. You're no longer just living, you're performing. And performing changes people. Their romance moved fast. They were photographed together publicly while Travis was still in the process of ending his previous marriage. The timeline alone raised eyebrows. Within a short period, they were building a family, building a brand, building a spectacle. The proposal at Disneyland, the dramatic themed wedding. Everything about it was intense. Grand gestures can feel magical, but intensity isn't always stability. The cracks showed quickly. By 2006, divorce papers were filed, and what could have been a private separation turned into something else entirely. This was the MySpace era, when celebrities vented in real time. Accusations flew, blog posts were written, emotions were aired publicly. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a narrative battle. Each side had their version of events and both versions were loud. That kind of public unraveling doesn't just disappear. Even after their divorce was finalized in 2008, the conflict didn't fully cool off. Because when children are involved, you're never completely done with each other. And when fame is involved, every disagreement feels amplified. Years later, co-parenting tensions made headlines again. There were reports of arguments escalating. Police were called during one dispute. Both sides denied different claims. No charges ultimately stuck. But even without a courtroom verdict, the public saw instability. And for fans watching from the outside, it started to feel like a cycle. Break up, reconcile, accuse, defend, repeat. Shanna has spoken openly about how painful that period was. She's described feeling publicly humiliated. She's pushed back against narratives that painted her as a bad mother. She's admitted that fame and imbalance played a role in how things unfolded. When one parent has more money, more visibility, more cultural influence, that can create a dynamic that feels impossible to compete with. At the same time, Travis told his side. In interviews and in his memoir, he described feeling like things became performative. He suggested the cameras affected authenticity. He talked about lifestyle pressures, about touring, about temptation, about substance struggles during that era. When you line up both perspectives, it doesn't look simple. It looks layered, emotional, exhausting. Then came another turning point. The 2008 plane crash Travis survived. Traumatic events like that can shift a person's priorities. Near-death experiences can bring clarity. They can force reflection. Many people believe that moment changed him, and it's possible it did. But here's where things get complicated. When Travis and Kourtney went public years later, the reaction wasn't just excitement, it was comparison. The affection was intense. The PDA was constant. The romance felt dramatic, almost cinematic. To some fans, it looked like true love finally found. To others, it felt familiar. The same overwhelming energy, the same all-in aesthetic, just in a different setting. Shanna didn't stay silent. She commented publicly at times. She questioned motives. She alleged past betrayals, including a claim that Travis had been involved with Kim Kardashian during their marriage, an allegation that was denied. Whether those claims were true or not, the fact that they were voiced added another layer of tension. Once something like that enters the public sphere, it sticks. She's also spoken about feeling like she stepped aside so her children could bond with their father's new world. That world now includes one of the most powerful reality TV empires in history. The Kardashians are a brand, a machine, an ecosystem of influence. For teenagers growing up around that level of visibility, it's not hard to imagine the pull. Fans have noticed that Travis appears to have a close relationship with his kids. They also notice the distance between Shanna and them at times. But distance doesn't always equal neglect. Sometimes it reflects years of layered conflict, perception battles, and public narratives that shape how children interpret their parents. There's also the irony factor. Travis has previously spoken about how reality television put strain on his marriage, how it magnified problems, how it created pressure. Yet today, he's once again front and center on a major reality platform. So, people naturally ask, if the cameras contributed to chaos once, why would it be different now? Growth is real. 10 years is a long time. People mature. They evolve. They learn from mistakes. But patterns don't disappear just because the aesthetic changes. The test isn't how romantic the photos look. The test is how conflict is handled when the cameras aren't flattering, how boundaries are respected, how disagreements are resolved. Looking back at old footage, some moments between Travis and Shanna look joyful, others look tense. Some photos show affection, others show imbalance. With Kourtney, the dynamic feels more polished, more curated. But polish doesn't automatically equal peace. The hardest truth in stories like this is that it's rarely black and white. It's rarely hero versus villain. It's usually two strong personalities colliding under intense pressure. Fame magnifies flaws. It rewards spectacle. It punishes vulnerability. And children end up navigating the emotional fallout. Shanna has said she feels the chapter with Travis is closed. She's building her own path. She's addressed the past in interviews, but also hinted that she wants peace. Travis appears settled in his current marriage. He presents as devoted, present, grounded. So the real question isn't who is worse, it's whether the conditions that fueled the chaos before still exist now. Fame, cameras, intensity, public validation. Those ingredients haven't disappeared. They've just been rebranded, and that's what keeps people watching. Because sometimes relationships don't repeat loudly. They repeat subtly, with better lighting, with more money, with a stronger PR team. But underneath, the same emotional wiring can still be there. Maybe Travis has changed. Maybe this time truly is different. Or maybe the lesson isn't about one man at all. Maybe it's about what happens when love becomes entertainment and private pain becomes public currency. The internet doesn't forget. It archives everything. And whenever a new chapter begins, people go back and reread the old ones. So when you look at Travis and Kourtney today, glowing on red carpets and sharing passionate moments on screen, ask yourself something simple. Is this growth, or is this the same story told in a softer voice? Because the most dangerous patterns aren't the ones that scream. They're the ones that look perfect until they don't.